So when it comes to biomass fuel types and agricultural residues, they don't all arrive in a condition where they're ready for combusting in the cobber. For instance, these olive pips have arrived slightly wet, and that's presumably just because it wasn't in the interest of the growers and producers to dry them. So the first thing we're going to do is dry these olive pips out, get them ready for the cobber. So although it's pretty cold right now in Canberra, we do always get a nice breeze up on the hill. There is sun on most days, and I'm pretty confident we can get these olive pips nice and dry before our trials. So it's been a couple of weeks now since we dried these olive pips out, and they're now ready for the cobber. Once again, we're going to be co-firing with the Oregon offcuts, and also in this video, we'll be talking a little bit more about how the cobber provides space heating and hot water to the cottage here at Mugga Mugga. Don't let the sun today fool you. Canberra is a cool temperate region with as many as 100 days of frost each year. Traditionally, all homes in Canberra were actually heated with solid fuels, and many tens of thousands of homes in the Canberra region still use firewood and solid fuels as their main heating source. But of course the cobber goes even one step further than that, because while the cobber is heating your home in the cold dark night of winter, it's also providing electricity. But in this video, we're just going to be talking about how the cobber provides heat and hot water here at the cottage at Mugga Mugga. This is our heat energy recovery unit, a fairly simple heat exchanger that takes the waste heat from the steam that has already passed through the engine and transfers it to water that is constantly circulated through this thermal storage tank. This means that over a 3-hour run, we can take these 1,000 litres of water and heat them from below 10 degrees to up over 80 degrees Celsius. Inside the off-the-shelf thermal storage tank are 2 more heat exchangers. The first of which preheats the feed water to the hot water tank inside the cottage, which then simply serves to keep the water at a usable temperature. The second loop provides the cottage with space heating. Hot water is pumped through the radiators and gives a lovely radiant heat which is much more preferable to the human body than heated air from air conditioners or ducted gas systems. All radiators in this system are oversized in what is called a low temperature system. This means that long after the cobber has stopped running, and even when the thermal storage tank comes down below 50 degrees, the cottage will still be heated. This is just one possible plumbing design for how the cobber can be set up, but we hope it gives you some ideas as to how the cobber can provide space heating and hot water, as well, of course, as electricity.
So we're reaching the end of our olive pip fuel trial today. Again, I found that they were quite similar to the walnut shell and that they needed to be added in small, regular amounts in order to avoid creating too much smoke. But overall, I'm really happy with the olive pips, and it's just so great to be able to fire up the cobber and produce 100% renewable energy with these agricultural residues which would otherwise simply go to waste. I also hope you learned a little bit more about the heating functions of the cobber and how they're providing hot water and space heating to the cottage, as well, of course, as electricity. So thanks for joining me once again for our latest video from our Winter Fuel Trial series.